Hi guys, welcome back. It is now right at the beginning of February here. We had a nice sunny day, still a bit cold, but really nice out. And as much for ourselves as for you guys, we want to do a bit of a starting property winter tour this year. We've got 1,000 projects we're going to have on the go this year. So we just want to take you through, show you what we're going to be doing, and what we'll be putting where, and just kind of document it. And we'll do a follow-up tour in late spring and probably again in September, just to kind of show you the difference. So before we get started, help us out and hit subscribe below, and let's get into it. So as we always mention, we are here in a bit of a moderate climate on the southwest coast of British Columbia in Canada. And so we have a number of things that do survive the winter here. One of which was some kohlrabi that we planted rather late in the winter. So we had a few of those that survived that we're gonna let go for another year. And this is also our area where we planted hostas last year, which are mainly used as a decorative plant, but that we also found were edible. So last year we did a video on cooking some of the leaves that taste kind of like asparagus. And this year we're excited to try the shoots, which are apparently supposed to be even better than the leaves are. So this is going to be one of our major projects this year. I don't know if you know this, Steph and I did a challenge last year to only eat what we could catch, grow, harvest, or raise. And we had a number of points that we didn't really like about it. And one was how much water that we used to water everything that we were growing. So we are putting in a whole water catchment system this year. So this big tank is going to sit up at the top of the property. And we're going to have to sort of pump water up to it, unfortunately. But then it will just all gravity feed down during the spring and summer months as we're watering all of our gardens. So again, this year we had the boat out of the water a little bit over the winter, did some repairs and just kind of time to clean it up, and looking forward to getting that back in the water soon and going fishing and crabbing and prawning and all those things, get some more variety back in the diet as well. And over here is kind of our mushroom section. So we were, well, hopefully our mushroom section. We inoculated these logs about well over a year ago now with some shiitake plugs, and still haven't gotten any mushrooms out of it. So we're hoping that we get some of those this year, as well as in one of our videos we showed you, we kind of been reusing old empty stumps to actually grow mushrooms out of, rather than growing them in buckets that we do also, but also wanted to find some kind of more natural mediums to plant our mushrooms in. So hopefully those will start sprouting soon now that spring's coming. Also over here we have one of our other new projects we'll be starting this year, is this hutch here. So we're going to be experimenting with meat rabbits at some point this year as well, which are super sustainable meat source. They breed quickly, grow quickly. So I don't think Steph's too excited for that one, but that will be on our list to try this year as well. And we'll take you over the chicken coop. So I'm not sure how well you can see, but we have our big kind of chicken coop and our run in the background here. And we're going to be expanding that this year all the way down to the front of the property, just to give them some more room. I don't have very good self-control. I keep coming home with more chickens and more birds, so as you can hear. And we're going to give a little bit more of an outside area this year, just for some more foraging area, and give some extra room for the birds. We have a nice big coop for them, so it'll be nice to give them some more space in the run. So over here is one of our other projects that were sort of half completed here. Really realizing last year just how important the soil was for us. That's a big thing, is for us to start producing more of our own soil. And all of our chicken poop kind of got dumped here while we were building this. But we're going to build a sort of 3-compartment compost. Just with your chicken manure, it does have to sit for over a year. So just for us to be able to have varying compost at different stages, we're going to be building 3 different kind of outlets for it. So we'll put some more posts along the front there and seal it in, and that will be our new compost section on this side of the property. So up here, if you watch one of our other videos, you know that we have our kind of upper garden area that we put in about halfway through last year. that's on a drip tape system. So we got some recycled drip tape from an old farm. You know, they run it in 200 feet length, so when they get a hole in it, they kind of replace the whole thing, and we just need a shorter length. So we installed that system that we have to kind of reorganize again, but that'll tie in nicely to our water catchment system, and all should kind of just flow down through this into our upper garden. We also did take a few trees down that we'll show you over the winter, mainly because hopefully this year, if we can afford to do it, put in solar on the house. So that's one of our other major projects. It'll either be this year or next year, but taking down a few of those trees in order to do that also kind of opened up this upper garden quite a bit more. That we'll get a lot more sun this year, so we're excited to grow some more things up here as well. So we'll just do a quick tour inside the chicken run here and show you some of the birds that we've got up here and where we'll be adding. I just placed our order, another 32 birds to this. So we have a number of birds in here. These are our main chickens and our layers, which are our Miller Browns, which we found to be really good laying birds. And we've got some other mix of our white big-breasted turkeys there. And a couple more of those coming in the spring. We also have one of our bantam breeds, the Millie Fleur, which is probably one of our favorite little birds that we like. So they give us some small eggs, but that one's more for fun than anything else. So this is our big turkey, an Orlot bronze that we've now pardoned from being butchered. We had a raccoon that broke into the coop one night, and this guy fought him off until we could get there. So we've spared him. He's quite a big boy now. Leave them alone, chickens. We also have our Muscovy ducks that were one of the first birds that we got, which are kind of cool. So they have, that's Papa there, but they have ducklings every spring, which we enjoy now. And yeah, one of the things we're going to be doing this year, unfortunately, is finally clipping their wings. We've kind of enjoyed letting them fly around and have their freedom, but they've been eating too much of the garden, and with everything we're going to plant this year, we're finally going to be clipping their wings, so we'll have a video coming up in the next couple weeks with that as well. We also have our silkies, which are also just kind of a fun one as well. They do give us some small eggs too, but we have one black silky and two white silkies in the coop here as well. We also have a couple kind of more heritage breeds. We have one silver penciled rock hen, as well as an AM Samani, which is a bit of a rare one that's completely black. It looks like a little bit like a crow, but yeah, pretty cute one. Not when they do that though. So as you can see, we keep our chickens and our turkeys and our ducks all together in the same run and same coop. And yeah, a lot of people told us not to do that when we started, but we haven't had an issue. The main sort of risk is probably with the ducks and the male drake trying to mate the chickens, but we keep enough females around for them and haven't had any issues. So for the most part, everyone gets along surprisingly well. So we're kind of happy keeping them all in one spot. Let's go check out some more of the property. And now we're at our kind of middle garden area, as we call it here. This is another garden bed we put in about halfway through last year, not until about May or June, but we got some pretty good soil in it and pretty happy with the turnout. So we've got our kind of strawberry patch in here, which is starting to come back in a little bit, as well as some onions we planted in the fall that are coming up along the back. And then we'll kind of redo this side with carrots and beets and kale and some things that we did last year as well. Right behind me at the back there is where we did take some trees down this winter just to open it up and get some more sun on the roof for when we hopefully put in solar at some point this year. So right here, this will be a little bit of a daisy patch, which fully gets up. They're probably about this tall in the spring, so that's a pretty cool transformation to start seeing. We also have some daffodil bulbs, which are our first flowers to kind of emerge here in BC. So those are starting to come up, which is a good sign and always motivates us to start some planting. And we'll actually be redoing, we kind of dug a ditch down here for drainage that we'll eventually be filling with some kind of gravel. And then everything on outside of that's going to be a bit of a herb garden. So our kind of perennials with thyme and rosemary, parsley, things like that that we'll keep going year round. But we're going to kind of decorate that all down the side with those there. It's a little wet. Nice until it dries out. So down here is kind of our beehive section at the front here. So last year we had one hive, which unfortunately didn't make it through the winter. So we actually have 3 hives coming this year. Our hives we actually got from New Zealand, so we're going to try a hive or 2 from there again, as well as another local one to see if that makes a difference too. So we're going to have to expand this platform and figure out where we're going to have to fit 3 of them in. So one of the things we started doing as well, because we didn't have any on the property, started planting some more fruit trees last year. So this is a dwarf cherry tree, so we're hoping that after full season last year that we'll start to get a few cherries off this year at least. So lots of things that we're going to have to see how they do. Over here we have a huge kind of lattice across the front of the house, which is really nice, and we're excited to start growing some more things on and taking advantage of the height this year. So we've got some kiwis that I've started to see some little sprouts on, so they survived the winter, which is good. They don't do well in the wind, and we get quite windy here in the winter, but we have a neighbor that grows them quite successfully. So we're excited to have some kiwis as well as some grapes. And this is also a part of the rainwater catchment system that we'll be putting in. So all of the kind of rainwater will run off to our gutters and down here. And then we've got these kind of nifty little things that we've got at the hardware store for a couple bucks. We'll kind of feed into our rain barrels that are underneath the deck there. And then that will get pumped up to that big water tank at the top of the property. So this is another big project that we started for ourselves as well. This is our lower garden. If you've seen prior videos, you know that this was all fenced. It was originally where we kind of grew everything to keep the deer out, and since then we fenced the whole property. So we took down this inner fencing, and we're now going to kind of amend the whole amount of soil that we've got here. So we dug up our blueberry bushes and dug up absolutely everything. We're going to amend the soil, and then this will be one of our main gardens that kind of gets the most amount of sun again this year. So, and again, we'll kind of utilize the lattice here for kind of runner beans and things like that that will climb up the lattice all the way to the deck. So up here above the lower garden on the far side of the house, we also have a little mushroom bed area that we planted some mushrooms in that should be coming up this spring with some wine caps. So yeah, we planted that's through as well. So this kind of gets a lot of shade, so it'll be good for that. As well as we're going to be planting a few more fruit trees a little bit further behind us that we're hoping are going to kind of grow above the house a little bit and stretch for that sun, just to utilize that area. So we've got a fig tree we're going to plant out, as well as a couple other ones that will hopefully grow tall enough to get that sun over top of the house. Okay, let's take you around the side here and we'll show you a couple more things we have on the deck. So there's lots of little kind of things that we've missed, but some more strawberry plants. One of the things we're really excited for is horseradish. We get fresh oysters here on the ocean, so we're growing our own horseradish, and up top actually growing real wasabi as well. So we're excited for that, and both have started to sprout a little bit early, which is great. Stevia, which should grow back, some onions, lavender. So this is one we're kind of excited about. We had one of our friends on the island give us some peaches last year. We actually planted some of the peach pits and grew into 4 of these little trees. So that's after 1 year, and we're excited to keep those growing. It's always kind of nice. It takes a while, but it's always kind of nice growing something from seed when you can. Just down here is another thing we're excited for, is our olive tree, which we didn't know grew in this area until last year, but apparently does. So that seemed to have survived the winter okay. Our lemon tree took a bit of a beating. We did move it inside for a bit, but probably not soon enough, and it was a bit of too much of a jump in temperature, so I think we kind of poofed that one, but hopefully that comes back a bit this spring. One of the other things we started on last year as well was quail. So these we actually just hatched in an incubator. We had an owl that actually ended up getting all of our quail last fall, so we got some more eggs over the winter and hatched them in an incubator. So we'll be starting this cycle again. And quail are nice and easy birds to raise, and they grow and start laying quickly. So we've got 7 in here that made it out of the eggs that we got, and then we'll start breeding them as well. So we'll continue that incubation of eggs. And one of the last things we have out on the deck here, just because we're filming another video on this afterwards, an update on our mealworms. So as I mentioned, one of our goals this year is to start producing more of our own food for our chickens. So we've been kind of setting up a mealworm farm. So these are kind of darkling beetles that are in here. You can actually see the mating there. And they lay their eggs. This is actually a mesh bottom underneath here. So they lay their eggs in this top one here. And then their eggs fall down into this one, and you can kind of see they shed their skin so frequently when they're going to mealworm. So I'll move that in a second, but you can see kind of all their, it's kind of gross, I guess, their dead skin cells on the top there, the skin that they've shed. And then in here is all the mealworms that you can kind of see growing there. So they'll get a couple inches long there, and then we'll feed those to the chickens. And they don't take a lot. We throw wheat bran in there as kind of their base that they eat, and then just vegetable scraps. So if we peel off a bit of lettuce we're not going to eat, or little trim bits off of the carrots, that's how they get their water. So yeah, we put them in there, and excited to become a little more self-sufficient on that end too. We did do a full video on setting this up, and we'll have an update coming soon too. So if you want to see how to do this or how to grow, mealworms are fed to lots of things, not just chickens, but lizards and anything like that. So if you want to see how to set up your own mealworm farm, you can watch that video as well. Okay, we'll just show you a couple things inside, then we'll wrap it up. So this is what our dining room table normally looks like during the winter here, with all of our plants and things going. We want to keep going through the winter. So we've got our peppers that we have started off early indoors, as well as some pepper plants we brought in from the winter. A few things that we're trying for the first time this year that we're excited for is growing our own ginger, as well as someone, a friend on the island, gave us some dragon fruit cuttings as well that seem to have taken, which is exciting. So we're going to be growing our own dragon fruit. We started some potatoes that we've left to shoot that we'll get in the ground here in another couple weeks. And then yeah, started doing our own kombucha this year as well. So always lots going on, and never a dull moment around here. Alrighty, so thanks for following us along with our pre-winter property tour here. Obviously everything's a mess, but it's an exciting time for us and everything that we have planned. We can't wait to come back and show you the transformation. So make sure you hit subscribe below, so you'll be notified when our new video comes out with everything that we've put in, and you can see all the changes with everything we've got growing. So thanks for following along. We apologize for the lighting. We know it's been all over the place with the sound and being in a bunch of different spots, but we'll see you guys next week.